What's up, guys? I'm back with another movie review. Today I've got another one from Twilight Time Movies, and it is Doctor Dolittle. This is the 1967 version, not the Eddie Murphy version. So this version stars Rex Harrison as Doctor Dolittle. He can speak to animals. He's like a master veterinarian. He's just an all-around quirky weirdo, basically, that spends all of his time talking to a chimp. He's a vegetarian, obviously, because he doesn't want his, animal friends to think that he's going to eat them. His latest research involves goldfish, but he's having trouble communicating with them because the bubbles that he's blowing are too big and they feel like he's shouting at them. Anyway, his dream in life is to find this gigantic pink sea snail, which he thinks is out there, even though everybody says that they're all gone. He wants to find them and find out, exactly what happened with them. In the meantime, he ends up getting into some legal trouble over a seal wearing a dress. Then he goes to work at a circus with a two-headed llama and eventually winds up going on this island adventure to find the snails, and that's the movie. So here's the deal. This movie has an incredibly strange reputation for being a huge disaster, which almost killed the family musical, or did kill it for a long time. The stories of Rex Harrison on the set were absolutely atrocious of the things he would do to people. I read that he pulled his yacht up into the shot several times and wouldn't move it just to ruin the shot. Anyway, which I think is hilarious, but I'm sure it wasn't at the time. But also, people were getting bit by all the animals. They were getting animals drunk. They were doing all this crazy stuff. A sheep was urinating on Rex Harrison. It has a bunch of crazy stories from the production. The movie itself seems like it should be like a light, brisk comedy, just something that you put in and it's just a little bit of whimsy and it's over. This thing is over 2.5 hours long, and man, it drags. It's an hour and a half to the intermission, and I honestly feel they could start the movie after the intermission and it would be a better movie. It's not that it's terrible, but there's just so much of it, and none of it is really that good, to be honest. Most of it feels like filler, especially pre-intermission. There's some neat stories. I would rather have the introduction to Dr. Dolittle, a quick piece on his legal trouble, a quick look at the time at the circus, and then move to the island, which is where most of the fun stuff happens. But unfortunately, it gets bogged down in the pre-island stuff, and it just takes forever. But it's really cool to see all the animals in this. There's a ton of them. Obviously, ethically, I'm sure they did some stuff they shouldn't have done with the animals, but it's just cool to see them. Rex Harrison riding a giraffe, and all these chimps and all these just crazy menagerie of animals. It's just really neat to me. I do think that the movie has some fun visuals. It's got some fun songs that are okay. To me, the best part of the movie is the finale, which absolutely goes off the deep end in a crazy way that's almost like I thought I was hallucinating or something. It's just absolutely nuts. It's worth seeing the movie, in my opinion, just to see the ending, but you have to sit through the rest of it to really appreciate it. So you can't just fast forward to the ending. You have to sit through the whole movie, otherwise it really loses a lot of its impact. But Rex Harrison is really good here, and that's about all I have to say. Richard Attenborough is here, Samantha Eggar, so there's some good talent involved, but it's just a misfire. It's just a overly long, just really drawn out movie that unfortunately just kind of all the fun and whimsy gets sucked out of it. But the stories from the production are fantastic, so that's a plus. Twilight Time released it on Blu-ray. This is a limited edition of 3,000. It's got an isolated music track, a commentary with the songwriter, which is interesting because unfortunately, it doesn't really go into a lot of the shadier parts of the production, which is what I was mostly interested in. But it was a nice overview of the production with a little bit of focus on, the musical part of it, which makes sense because it was a songwriter. And then it's also got the original trailer, and then it also has a really cool A&E biography episode on Rex Harrison, which is really nice. I love those A&E biography episodes. They're so in-depth, and they just adds a lot of value to these discs if you're interested in the stars that were involved in them. The transfer on this is absolutely gorgeous. Super bright, vivid, vibrant colors that just bound off the screen. It's amazing. Super clean, super sharp, great detail. It's a really nice disc. I don't imagine this is one that's going to sell out very fast, but you never know. And with it being a limited edition, maybe better safe than sorry if you're the kind of person who wants Dr. Dolittle in your collection. In the end, I can't really give it a strong recommendation, but if you have a good attention span and you don't mind sitting through some filler, there's some really weird stuff in this movie that I think makes it worth watching. And just the ending alone is I don't know what happened. I'm still confused about it, and it's so bizarre. That's my review of Doctor Dolittle, the 1967 version. You can check out my full review at markfusion.com, as well as tons of other Twilight Time videos, or Twilight Time home video reviews, and you know, a bunch of other stuff too. I don't know, I completely lost my train of thought. Anyway, I'm also on Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, Patreon if you want exclusive content. You can follow me on Letterboxd, see what I'm watching, what might be coming up here, make a request, ask for something to be bumped up the priority list to get reviewed here. You know, just get a hold of me on social media or whatever. The best way to support me, as always, just to hit that sub button. It's a free, easy, direct way to show your support for this channel and help me continue to devote an insane amount of time to watching just the widest variety of movies of all time. Like the musical version of this crazy musical version of Doctor Dolittle. And also, watching the old videos is a help, big help as well. There's tons of Twilight Time titles in there, as well as some odd musicals here and there. Just a lot of weird movies in my review playlist. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this. I do greatly appreciate it. Hopefully I'll see you guys soon.